welcome back to my channel Under the Apple Tree. My name is Aoife and today we are doing a morning wake up flow. And apologies, that was probably a bit too energetic of a hello for the morning, depending on what kind of morning person you are. But anyway, this is going to be a gorgeous morning flow to help you wake up, whether it's a weekday or a weekend. You can do this right away after waking up or anytime throughout the morning. Obviously you can do it anytime you like as well. So we will get started seated on our mats, whether you want to sit cross-legged or kneel or sit any other way, legs out in front or up on a chair. I'm going to rest the hands onto the knees, close down the eyes, sit up nice and tall. Feel the crown of the head reaching up, elongating the spine. Just taking a moment here to feel the contact points between you and the mat, the weight of the hands on the legs. Becoming aware of any surroundings, any surrounding sounds. And then we're going to just scan down through the body, seeing as you've just woken up. Starting at the top of the head, just taking your attention through the whole body, passing down through the temples, the eyes, the nose, the ears. Just checking in how things feel. Through the lips, the chin, the jaw, down through the neck. Noting just how things feel without saying anything is good or bad, just trying to sense into the sensations. Coming across the shoulders, down through the arms, the elbows, the forearms, the wrists, the hands, the fingers. Taking the attention down through the chest, the front and sides of the rib cage, the upper belly, lower belly, coming down through the back of the shoulders, the middle back, the lower back, the waistline, down to the hips, sensing through the pelvis as you connect into the thighs, traveling down to the knees, traveling down through the shins and the calves, to the ankles, along the top of the foot or feet, bottom of the feet, and through each of the toes. Just passing through each area, noticing what's going on this morning. And just notice the breath from here. Bring the attention maybe to the chest or the belly, wherever you notice the breath. The rise and the fall, the filling, the emptying. Just count the breath, counting 1 as you inhale, 2 as you exhale, 3 as you inhale, 4 as you exhale, just until you get to 10. And then once you reach 10, releasing the attention from the breath. Coming back into your space, so feeling the air of the room on your skin or feeling the clothes against your skin. Once again, hearing any sounds. Connecting into the sensations between you and the mat, your hands and the legs. And gently, whenever you're ready, blinking open the eyes. We're going to take the hands out in front, interlace the fingers. And reaching the fingers forward, bringing the chin to the chest, rounding the upper back. Inhaling here, filling up the back of the torso or the upper back. And then exhale, going to draw the elbows back so they're in line with the shoulders. Reach the chest forward, maybe look up to the ceiling. So you've cactus arms here, fingertips pointing up to the ceiling. Inhale, reach the hands forward to interlace the fingers, pushing back through the shoulders, chin to chest. Exhale, reaching the chest forward as you draw the elbows back, either in line or beyond the shoulders, like behind the shoulders. Inhale, reaching the hands forward, interlacing them, chin drops down. Exhale, reach the chest forward, draw the elbows back. We'll do it one more round. Inhaling. And exhaling. Just releasing the hands down by the side, maybe just shrugging the shoulders up to the ears and release them down the back. We're going to take left hand over to right knee, right hand comes behind you into our easy seated twist. Inhale to grow length through the spine. Exhale, twisting to the right. So just feel that pull, or not pull, the twist comes through your belly, through your rib cage, through to your shoulders. And just looking to the right, seeing as you've just woken up, the body might be quite stiff. So we don't want to overdo it here by like pulling like I just said. Maybe after a few breaths, seeing can you gently take the gaze towards the back shoulder. But if not, if it feels very tight, you can just very gently play with it, but you'll know yourself whether just to keep looking to the right or not. We'll do one more inhale. We'll exhale, turn back to face the front. Swapping over, right hand over to left knee, left hand behind you. Inhale, growing length through the spine. Just very gently tucking in the chin so you're not looking up. Back of the neck is nice and long. Inhaling. Exhale, twisting to the left. Again, just taking the gaze to the left to start. As you breathe, you create a bit more space in the body, maybe allowing you to take it a bit further. Do 2 more breaths here. One more inhale. We'll exhale, unwind, face back to the front, and then we'll come forward into our tabletop pose. So I'm crossing the legs, making your way onto hands and knees, maybe just patting out the hands here a little bit. Maybe giving the tops of the feet a little bounce on the mat. And just making sure the shoulders are over the wrists, the hips are over the knees. We're just going to take the shoulders and circle around the wrists. The hips move forward as the shoulders go forward, hips move back as the shoulders go back. And then taking your circles into the opposite direction. Sorry if the light keeps changing, it seems like there's loads of clouds out there. Moving around. Coming back to center, we'll do a few rounds of cat-cow. So inhale, drop the belly down, chest shines forward, gaze up to the ceiling. Exhale, tuck the tailbone as you round the spine. Again, pushing the shoulders to the ceiling like we did in our seated version of this. Chin to chest. Inhale, drop the belly down, so tailbone points up to the ceiling as you move through into cow, gazing up. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, draw everything in, curling, pushing the hands into the mat, into cat. Inhale, dropping the belly down. We'll do 2 more. Exhale, rounding. And if you feel like you want to do any other movements, feel free to make them. One more time, rounding the spine. And then coming back to a neutral spine. We're just going to take the hips back to the heels, keep the arms outstretched, let the forehead come down onto the mat into your child's pose. Breathing here, trying to draw the inhale into the belly. With the exhale, seeing can you sink or release a little bit more into the pose. We'll do 1 more inhale, 1 more exhale. And so to lift the chest, look forward and then move your shoulders back over the wrists into your tabletop. Pressing that right hand into the mat, we're lifting the left hand up to the side, maybe out to the left and up to the ceiling. And then you're going to thread it through the right side, lowering the left here onto the mat, the left shoulder onto the mat. And keep the right hand here or walk it out in front, straightening the arms. If you find this very difficult, your ear and shoulder can't quite make the mat, You can grab a cushion or feed of your pillow from your bed if you're doing this right beside the bed. You can put that underneath the shoulder and the ear just to lift the floor a little bit closer to you. Your hips are sticking up to the ceiling. We're inhaling deeply. Exhaling, seeing can you soften somewhere. One more inhale. One more exhale. And inhale to walk that right hand back in front of the face. Press into it and exhale to lift that left hand back up to the ceiling and then back onto the mat. Just rearranging the hands so they're underneath the shoulders. This time inhale, lift the right hand up to the ceiling. Exhale, threading it through, lowering the shoulder and ear onto the mat, putting the pillow underneath you if you need to. And then you can walk out that left hand to straighten it. Just noticing with the hips, if you feel like you're really kind of shifting the weight into one or the other, trying to balance it out. So I notice when I kind of sway into the left hip, so just noticing that, sensing into the right hip and seeing can you draw it over to the right. Just a little bit to balance them, not pushing it all the way and then doing it the opposite. Breathing here. One more inhale. One more exhale. Inhale, walk that right hand back in front of the face, pressing into it. Exhale as you lift the right hand up to the ceiling and lowering it back down onto the mat. We'll tuck under the toes and shift the hips back to the heels and then lift them to the ceiling into your downward facing dog. You can pedal out the legs here. Quite likely the hamstrings, the calves will be tight after your sleep. So pedaling out the legs nice and gently, bending one knee, straightening the other. And we'll bring both heels towards the mat to straighten out the legs. We're going to lift the left leg up to the ceiling, bring the knee to the chest to step that foot between the hands, drop the right knee down. We're coming into our low lunge. So you're untucking the back toes. We're going to lift the fingertips up to the ceiling and looking forward. Trying to keep the shoulders relaxed as you reach up through the fingers. Breathing here. If you like as well, you can just have the hands on the knees. Sinking into the hips either way. One more inhale. Exhale, take the hands down to frame the foot. Tuck under the back toes, lift the back knee, step back to downward dog. We'll inhale to shift forward into our planks so the shoulders come on over the wrists. You might need to walk the feet back a little bit. And then exhale, lower the knees, belly, chest coming all the way down. Inhale, lift the chest just into a baby cobra, so only slightly looking forward. And then exhale, press into the hands. Send the hips back and up to the ceiling into your downward facing dog. Taking an inhale again. If the legs are still tight, you can continue to pedal the legs. Then reaching the left heel down to the mat, we'll lift the right leg up. Bring the knee to the chest and then step the foot between the hands, lower the back knee down. Lifting the fingertips up into our low lunge. Again, you have the option, have the hands on the knees. So just maybe depends on how much energy you have this morning. Or maybe if you feel like you've a lot of stiffness, tightness in the shoulders, it might feel like it's just too much and it's not the good kind of work. It's more like tensing them than strengthening them. You can release the hands onto the knee. Again, just trying to sink a little deeper with the hips. One more inhale. One more exhale. Release the hands down onto the mat, tuck the back toes, stepping back to your downward facing dog. You can also come through tabletop, moving your way back. And bending the knees nice and deep. We're going to slowly walk the feet forward towards the hands. Hanging over the legs here. Pedal out the legs once again. And bring them to stillness. We're just going to take the hands in front of us onto the fingertips. If your hands don't reach the mat, you can bend the knees until they get there. And then we're walking the hands as if you're following the face of a clock to 11 till 10, maybe getting over to 9. So we're getting a side body stretch here as we're stretching into the back of the body as well. Breathing here. One more inhale. Exhale, walking the hands back to 12 o'clock. Then as you inhale, walk into 1 to 2, maybe to 3, just as far as you can go, wherever you feel that side body stretch. The left rib cage, the left waist. Letting the head hang down. One more inhale here. So exhale, you can walk the hands back to center. Bending the knees if you weren't already bending them, tucking in the chin, and we're slowly rolling up through the spine. This feels really great, especially after you've just woken up. Really feeling each part of the back getting a little stretch, a little bit of love. Until you come all the way up to standing, your head and neck are last to come up. Just going to bring the shoulders up to the ears, relax them down the back. Take an inhale, take the arms wide and overhead. And keep the hands shoulder distance, feeling like you're reaching up through them so you're stretching the side of the body. Taking another inhale here. Then exhale, hinge at the hips as you dive down to your forward fold. Letting the crown of the head hang down. Inhale, lifting halfway, hands come onto the shins, spine parallel to the ground. And exhale to fold. Inhale as you bend the knees, plant the hands and walk the feet back to your downward facing dog. You might feel like the legs are fairly warmed up now, so you can keep them straight, but if you want to keep pedaling them, go for it. I'll take a couple of breaths here. Maybe take a little bend in the knees to just tilt the hips up to the ceiling, feeling that trickle through the spine, lengthening it. Maybe the shoulders move back, or you can encourage them to move back towards the thighs. And then reach the heels into the mat to straighten the legs. We'll inhale, lift the left leg up to the ceiling. Exhale, bring the knee to the nose, step the foot between the hands. This time we're keeping the back knee lifted. We're staying on the ball of the back foot. We're coming into our high lunge. So again, you can choose, hands can rest on the thigh, hands can reach up to the ceiling. If you're reaching the hands up, just checking you're not scrunching the shoulders up to the ears as we often do without even realizing. If you do, maybe giving them an extra scrunch up and then releasing them down. You're looking forward, left knee stacked over left ankle, reaching back through that right heel, feeling that strength and stretching in that right leg. One more inhale. Exhale, take the hands down to frame the foot, step back to your downward dog. Inhale, shifting forward to plank. Exhale, lowering knees, belly, chest coming all the way onto the mat. This time we're taking the arms alongside the body. I'm going to take the palms to face down to the ground, but you don't need to have them touching the ground unless you want to. You're taking the toes together if you can. If not, reaching the toes towards each other. Just going to roll the shoulders back and inhale, lift the toes, lift the chest into locust. Going to exhale, holding here, reaching back through the fingers, through the toes. One more inhale. Exhale, releasing down. Inhale, press into the hands. Send yourself back to your downward facing dog. Just take a round of breath here. And then next, inhale, lift the right leg up. Exhale, bring the knee to the nose. Step the foot between the hands. Again, keeping the back knee lifted and lifting yourself up into your high lunge. Again, your choice. Hands rest on the thighs, fingertips reach up. Wherever you are, checking in with the breath. Noticing if it's sped up a little bit, maybe quickened. Notice maybe if it's gone a bit shallow, trying to direct it down to the belly. Trying to elongate it. Do one more inhale. Exhale, lower the hands down to frame that foot, stepping back to your downward facing dog. Next, inhale, shifting forward into plank. Checking the hips are in line with the shoulders. They're not dropping down or sticking up. And then exhale, lower knees, belly, chest coming all the way down. This time we're going to take the hands, interlace the finger fingers, rest them on the lower back. Again, bringing the toes together or drawing them towards each other. And then as you inhale, you're lifting the toes, reaching them back, lifting the knuckles, reaching them back. So you're drawing the shoulder blades together here. Breathing here as you reach back through knuckles and toes. Getting a back bend, strengthening the back of the body, opening the chest. One more inhale. Exhale, release, lower down. Inhale, press into the hands to lift yourself up and make your way back to downward facing dog. Breathing here, deepening the inhale to the belly. Maybe exhale, sigh it out the mouth. 2 more like that if you want. Inhale deep into the belly. Exhale, sighing it out. One last time, inhaling. Exhale, sigh it out. And bend the knees nice and deep. Slowly walking the feet forward until they come between the hands. Take a hold of opposite elbow here. Swaying side to side. Encouraging the upper arms to come alongside the ears. So the weight of the elbows, the forearms can help release the shoulders down. And then coming back to center, releasing down the hands. Inhale to lift halfway, spine parallel to the mat. And exhale to fold. Inhale, take the arms wide, bring them overhead, palms to touch, looking up. Exhale the hands back to the heart. Going to release the hands down. We're going to keep the feet hip distance apart. Inhaling, standing nice and tall. And exhale, bend the knees, send the bum back behind you into your chair pose. Hands come forward and up to frame the ears, the upper arms frame the ears. Trying to send the weight back through the hips, through the glutes. We'll do 2 more breaths here, inhaling. Keeping the chest lifted, exhaling. 1 more inhale. And exhale to press into the feet to straighten the legs. You can send the arms down by your sides. Well done. Take the feet nice and wide, toes pointing straight ahead. Taking the hands onto the hips, we'll inhale, lift the chest, looking up. And exhale, hinging at the hips to fold down into your wide-legged forward fold. Release the hands down onto the mat. Trying to hang the head down so you've got the crown of the head reaching down to the mat. Stretching the back of the legs, the back of the torso, the back of the neck. Slowing down the breath here. If the hands don't reach the mat, you can take them onto the shins. Sorry, I should have said that sooner. Rest them on the shins or the thighs, or keeping them on the hips. I'm going to take the hands now. If the hands reach the mat, you can place it below the face, so in the center of the 2 feet. If your hands don't reach the mat, maybe grabbing a cushion or a pillow, placing the hand onto that. Now inhale, take the right hand out to the side and up to the ceiling. Maybe the gaze follows it up. And exhale, lower the hand down. Let it replace the left hand. Inhale, take the left hand to the side, gaze following it up as it reaches to the ceiling. And exhale, lower the left hand down, replacing the right. Inhale, right hand comes up to the side. And exhale, coming down. Inhale, left hand reaches to the side and up. And exhale, lowering down. 1 more each side. Inhale. Exhaling. Inhale. And exhale, coming back to your forward fold. Just taking a moment here. I'm going to heel toe the feet towards each other. Bring them just a bit wider than hip distance apart. You can start to bend the knees, sending the weight of your hips back behind you until you come into a squat, a yogic squat. Take the elbows inside the knees, and you might not be able to get all the way down. You might be here. You might find if you lift onto the balls of the feet, you can sink the hips deeper down. So just maybe having a little bit of a play around with your center of gravity, the space in your hips. Wherever you're trying to get the elbows inside the knees, the hands to prayer. I'll just do 2 breaths here. Inhaling, sinking the hips a little lower. Exhaling. 1 more inhale. And exhale, you can send the hips back once again, and then they'll fall onto the mat. Just release the feet out, and then we're going to come all the way down onto the ground. So just gently bringing yourself onto the mat. You take the knees into the chest. You have the option here, holding onto the knees to rock side to side. Or if you rather come into happy baby, separating the knees so they come kind of towards the armpits, taking hold of onto the outside of the feet, reaching the soles of the feet up to the ceiling. Again, you can also rock side to side here, just whatever feels good. And taking yourself back to center wherever you are. Let the feet come onto the mat, arms come alongside the body. Feet are hip distance here, walking the heels towards your bum. Pressing the arms, the shoulders, the feet into the mat. Inhale, lift the hips up. The chest moves towards the face, coming into your bridge pose. Feel like you're really pressing the heels of the feet into the mat. You might find then the hips are able to lift a little bit higher. You can stay here or take the hands, interlace them behind the back. Rolling under the shoulder, the chest might come closer to the face. Gazing towards the chest, towards the belly. Try to slow down the inhale. Slow down the exhale. 1 more of each. And then on your next exhale, releasing the hands, releasing the shoulders, slowly, slowly taking the spine onto the mat. You can take the hands out long or take them cactus, so elbows in line with the shoulders, fingertips pointing back with the elbows bent. Just shift the hips an inch to the left. Drop the knees all the way over to the right, stacking one leg over the other. Gazing up to the ceiling or taking the gaze the opposite direction of the knees, just whatever feels nicer in the neck. Coming into our supine spinal twist. If you find that your left shoulder is lifting off the mat, maybe putting that pillow underneath the right knee just to lift the knees a bit so that you can get that shoulder onto the mat. Just maintaining some integrity with your spinal twist. Do 1 more inhale. Exhale, come back to center. Centering the hips, and then shift the hips an inch to the right. Drop the knees all the way to the left. Gazing into the opposite direction or keeping the gaze up to the ceiling. Noticing how the breath has slowed down. Seeing, can you encourage it to go even slower? Lengthening the inhale. Lengthening the exhale. See how that affects the pose, how it feels in the body. We'll take the knees back to center. And coming into Shavasana, corpse pose. So if you need to grab a blanket or some layers, grabbing them now and then extending the legs onto the mat. Opening up the arms so the palms of the hands face the ceiling, the arms are a little bit away from the body, and closing down the eyes. Resting here. Letting your body soak in that lovely juicy stretch, that space that was created. nourish each and every cell of your body. Gently starting to take your attention back into your space, noticing sounds. Maybe you can hear some birds or the house waking up. Feeling the contact points between you and the mat. And start to wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes, circle the wrists and ankles both ways. Maybe stretching the arms overhead for a full body stretch. Take a nice big inhale into the belly. Exhale out the mouth. And bend the knees in towards you. Roll over to your right side. Rest the head on the hands. Taking a little moment here with yourself. And then press the hands into the mat, lifting yourself up into any comfortable seated position. Trying to maintain the eyes closed, or else just having a gentle gaze down to the ground. Wherever you are sitting, just trying to reach up through the crown of the head. Feeling that length in the spine, the relaxation in the shoulders. Just noticing how the body feels. Noticing how the breath feels. And then maybe taking just a moment to set an intention for the day ahead. So this might vary depending on whether it's the weekend, your day off, or it's a work day. It's just keeping that in mind. Maybe if it's a day off, having an intention to rest or do one or two things throughout the day to truly look after yourself, give yourself some time off. If it's a work day, maybe it's to be focused, to be energized, maybe to be flexible about the tasks ahead. If you have a kind of job that can be very changeable, and that you will make it workable. So whatever intention you're choosing, just taking a moment, repeating it in your head, in your mind, and taking the hands to prayer in front of the heart, sealing in that intention. Bowing your head to your heart, your head and heart to your body, bowing down to the earth. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with me this morning. I hope you enjoyed that. Hope it woke up your body. You're feeling ready to take on the day, whether it's a work day or the weekend or day off. If you liked this video, please give it a like, give me a comment of how you got on. I'd love to hear about it. And if you would like to know when the next video is out, please subscribe so you can be notified as soon as it's uploaded. I will see you then in the next video. Bye.